name is Doris Littrell, and I'm in the class of 58. I came from Birmingham, Alabama. And when I was going to school, Stephens had students from all over the country, and that was one of the big draws. And so in the fall, when we started back to school, they started trains from different parts of the United States. So I was on the one that started in Miami, and it would pick up Stephens girls along the way and come to school. When you came in, you looked out, and the whole place was absolutely covered with emu boys waiting for us. And they were there ostensibly to help you carry your luggage to the dorm. So it was an easy way to meet Stephens girls. Stephens was a 2-year college. It was a junior college, and a lot of people thought it was a finishing school. So there were people who came to, quote, get finished. And they did have a course called personal appearance, which I never took, but it had, I'm sure it had stuff like how to present yourself and that kind of thing. It was not like beauty pageant perspective. It was that all the women who came out of there should be able to be comfortable wherever you were, be able to make conversation with people and do all that sort of thing. There was also an unwritten agenda message for every young woman in the country that you can be whatever you want to be, but that includes being married and having kids. So being a mother and a wife was an important role that you were going to be expected to fulfill.
President Wood was bringing in hair personnel from Manhattan to teach the girls how to groom themselves. There were posture classes. There were classes in etiquette, how to pour tea, how to take tea, how to serve tea. It was all very proper. But at that time, President Wood really believed that all women, even if they have positions, will at some time have a home, and that it was a goal for all women to be married and have a family, even if they were working at that time, that it would be necessary down the road. So why not go ahead and train them for the things that were going to happen eventually anyway?
I think back in the day there was a definite example of an ideal Stevens woman because it was more of a finishing school and more of a teach you how to be the perfect wife sort of a place, whereas now that's not the case. But I think there are certain expectations that people who do know about Stevens and know how Stevens is run kind of expect you to act and expect you to know and have learned at Stevens, but it's not the same emphasis as it was. There's not the same ideal woman that there used to be.
The 10 ideals actually were if you wanted to look at an ideal Stevens woman, that would be the thing that would give you clues more. And it's interesting because now, if you look at the 10 ideals here, it's much more self-sufficient than ours were. We had some things, I don't remember, one was cheerfulness. There was a lot of I won't say superficial, but things that weren't as deep and weren't expected to be as deep. I think the ideal Stevens woman probably is more than one person. They would look different from each other. They would be interested in lots of different areas for a profession and for hobbies or for just things they like to do. But I think the thing that they would have in common would be a kind of sense of self. They would value the things like the 10 ideals. I think a lot of people might think those are corny, but I think they're very important.
I would say I think that the values have probably changed, but I think the core values that really matter have stayed the same. That the women want to be independent, they want to make their mark on the world, and they just want to be good and be better for their families and themselves. I believe that there's also separate values that women have brought from their home and their families and their cultures. I think my idea of the ideal Stevens woman is a woman who takes her experiences here and learns from them and transforms and applies them to her time after she leaves Stevens. She's independent. She's just looking to, I guess, better her future.
I definitely think there is a specific type of woman that comes out of Stevens. I think that Stevens, with the 10 ideals and the way the classes are structured and that sort of thing, it just teaches you to be very independent and very much a go-getter. And I think that really has structured my experience here, because in high school I was kind of more of a, well, I'm just going to hang back and see how things go, and more of a follower. And being at Stevens, I've definitely grown to be more of a leader. So I think that's definitely something that Stevens teaches women to be.
I work on emphasizing the 10 ideals and how important it is to incorporate those ethics into your own code of ethics, whatever it is you've been brought up to believe, whatever you feel in your heart. Adding those ideals to your college experience, it allows those ideals to go with you out into the real world once you've graduated. And so even if the students walk into my classrooms not knowing what they are, I hope that they understand it all when they walk out, or they at least will have a projected idea of what it will be like to incorporate those ideals into their lives. That's really my dream.
Everyone here at Stevens is so different, and that's what makes it such an interesting campus to live on, and it's a really interesting community to be a part of. I don't think that there's like a mold that you have to fit into here. I think there's definitely guidelines that they give you to help you in any major and in any career path. I think they do a good job of kind of helping everybody with their own personality.
Definitely pushing number 1 to 10 ideals, both for yourself and the behavior that you would expect others to. The idea of a Stevens woman is just a woman who knows who she is and what she wants out of life. It's knowing that you are capable and following your dreams.
On the quiet nights that you may be walking through the hall, any hallway in this institution, and you will hear, I swear to God, the voices of other women from other times, all joyous in their experiences. Some perhaps not so joyous, because college is a difficult time for a lot of young women. But to be a Stevens woman means that your voice is added to the others who go down in history as taking part here.
I could see the 18-year-olds come into Stevens as freshmen, and when they left 4 years later, they were literally different people. They stood up, they walked out like they were going to conquer the world, and many of them do. So I would encourage you to do that.